Any changes to the agenda for this evening?
Yes, the dates are, it should be the 11th up there, July 11th.
You're a stickler, aren't you?
The proper date. Alrighty, and no other changes? Alright, if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Privilege of the floor. And approval of the minutes of the June 13th, 2016 meeting.
I had a question
Yes.
when I was here. Just about the wording in the treasurer's report. As expected, professional fees will end the year under due to the movement of funds to the capital account. To me, that just sounded weird.
Yeah.
Is that what actually was talked about? That because funds got moved to the capital accounts? Or is it that the money is being
Two separate
reimbursed from the
sentences?
capital accounts? Like they would be removed, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Funds would be coming from the capital account,
Yeah,
not moving to the capital account.
Because all those expenses were parked in that one line, and then when the key account with the operating account got reimbursed, it kind of was a credit to that line, so now that line is everything that reflects just in the general fund.
So it was,
Well, the professional fees aren't a capital expenditure, but they're new building expenditures.
Right,
That's what
right,
you're really
right.
talking about, right?
Right, in the capital/new building
The new
fund,
building, so
when they got
they're
moved.
being shifted to the new building account. That
Did
would,
you want it to say instead of to,
Right.
as from?
Like, how do you put that into words, basically, is really the question.
I'm not sure
let's see.
what I can do to fix that.
Properly allocated to the capital fund.
due to the movement of
Mo-
funds
it's-
from.
You're not moving
Yeah.
funds, you're moving actually an expense.
Right.
Uh,
When we moved the funds, it was a debit to the general fund key account, and then the credit on that entry reduced the professional fees in the general fund. So that's why the general fund had that reduction for that month.
So it was,
So it's movement of the expense to the capital
Right,
fund,
Right.
not the funds. It's the expenses being itemized over there.
right.
Put the professional fees and the capital fund, how are they related?
there were lawyer fees and
Oh, the
there
Right,
was
the-
the lawyer
yeah,
and the
there was the-
architect.
Oh, okay, that's it.
That's what the fees were
Right.
for.
Okay,
So you wanna change the word funds to expense due to the movement of these expenses to
To
the
the-
capital
That
slash
makes sense.
new building account.
That sounds better.
Expenditures?
Okay, expenditures, and it's to the capital slash new building
Okay.
account.
Changes it to be the word expenditures in place of funds, and then
Mhm.
to the capital slash building, new building
New
account.
building
Sounds right.
account.
Would that be satisfactory?
yeah,
Yeah,
straightforward to me, yeah.
okay. Any other changes to the minutes? Okay. May I have a motion to accept the minutes of June 13th with the changes made tonight? Helen Mary, second. Jim Targan, thank you. Opposed? None? There we go. And
Who seconded that, please?
Jim.
Thank you.
And that is the difference. And tonight we have our guest Elizabeth Rowley from the Community Foundation of Orange and Sullivan County. Tonight we do not have a completed agreement, that's correct. So, but subject to final approval of revisions of the agreement, to make our relationship official, we will not be signing a contract tonight. We will be signing it at another meeting.
Yeah, or would you be available? I mean,
Would you be available for
Sure.
the August meeting, is that,
Likely, I can check the calendar, but
okay?
to reflect some of the changes that your attorney has brought up, I think.
yeah, to give time for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Elizabeth while
Is,
she's
is
here?
our contract unusual? Because you sign contracts with like 50 different organizations, and yet we seem to have all these revisions to the contract. So I'm just wondering what do you see there?
It happens very often, especially with organizations, such as yours. Libraries, as you all know, are, very unusual and a little more complex than, other organizations. So it's not unusual to have many questions and changes, no.
Okay.
Absolutely not. And due to the nature, I think, of this campaign for the new building, different than many of our other typical funds, which are more like endowments for long-term growth and sustainability. This is, different, I think, than what we typically deal with, but no questions. Now is the time to ask them, so I think it's good that you're looking at it with a very close eye and having your attorney review it and make sure that everything is, set up properly right from the get-go, so.
Okay. So then we will expect to see you at the August meeting?
Okay.
That's,
What is that date?
that
June.
is
The 8th.
August 8th.
And should I take this that you just shared with me from Ben and do another revision and send it to your group for further review?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really the next step, I
Yeah.
think, right? Okay. Alright, sounds good. Does anyone have any other questions for me? Is that
Concerns, questions?
while I'm here tonight?
Well, we've been struggling with the way to set up the committee that's gonna do the research, or not the research, the
Fundraising.
the fundraising. And
Yeah,
should we wait on that?
Working on that, yeah.
we're still ironing out some of the
Details.
points of that.
Okay.
Just because of the limitations on what the board can do in the state of New York, what our responsibilities are, so.
Okay.
In terms of
Um,
fundraising, so.
We're actually gonna contact Jerry Nichols as a resource, and we'll probably talk to a couple other directors within the state of New York to see how they've handled these similar things.
Okay.
We'll be doing it over the next 2 weeks, so we'll have those answers as well
So
by
the
the next
August
meeting.
the August meeting will be jam-packed?
Yeah, be all about it.
Yay.
We'll all be out how we're not fundraising.
Yeah. Right, setting up the community foundation and fundraising also. Any other questions for Elizabeth? Thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Oh, no
Thank you so
problem.
much for coming.
No problem, thanks for your feedback here, and I will make some updates and then send it back to you, Norma, or Bernie, or?
I think to Matt, and then
Oh, to Matt,
Matt
okay.
will send it to both of
Okay,
us. And
alright, sounds good,
the rest
I
of
can
the
do
board.
that.
And
No
Matt, I think
problem.
Matt can forward you the copy, the email from the
Okay.
lawyer, yeah, if you want a
Okay.
digital copy, yeah.
Sounds good. Alright, I will do that. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Right, and treasurer's report.
Oh, thank you, Norma. Good evening, everybody. This is the best month of the year, June month end, the final month of the fiscal year. Now, we're only at July 11th today, so there's still gonna be some June bills yet to be entered, but I would say that the numbers here are probably about 98-99% final, so more or less it's pretty close to where it will end the year. In the month of June, I managed to get 3 checks out to Baker and Taylor, so we caught up on that quite a bit. So I think all the Baker and Taylor are entered probably through midway through May. So almost as caught up as I possibly could be, because the June bills are not even all entirely checked in yet. The books haven't been matched up with the packing slips. But we're pretty caught up on this, and again, it might change slightly, so I'll give a revised June in the next month or two, but the numbers are pretty much, other than the books, pretty much everything is entered, I would say. And you could see that for the year, the salary line was pretty much right on, a hair under. Now, we'll still have a journal entry for the accrual, because the last paycheck here was in June, but we had a couple of, the first check in July pertained to time from June, so there's gonna be some journal entries in and out, but more or less the salary line for the year, you can see, is right on. The library charges on the income side is literally $12 under budget, 19,988 compared to 20,000, so that's right on. And I noticed the month of May, the library charges were really low, and it looks like it's because there was a big deposit made in early June that were May library charges, so that's why it's kind of out of whack there, but it evened out at the end, and we're more or less right on target there, which is still a little lower than what it had been a few years ago, but that's because of the lowering of the fines and the email notification and the online that people, when they're late with their books and merchandise, but more or less we're right on target there. Again, the health insurance was way under for the year, because we had people leaving last year too, so that's a reason for that. This retirement bill, which has been since December, we knew that was gonna be under. In the next month or two, we'll probably get the projection for the year we're in now, for the December retirement bill for the current fiscal year, so we'll know more there. But for this year, it was under by like almost $7,000. The books, you can see there's some entered in May, so it's pretty current. I think that total library materials and processing line, there's only $1,093 left in that subtotal line. When you add in the books that haven't been entered, that subtotal will be over. I don't know how much by, but it'll be over by a little bit. But all the other subtotal lines look like they're under. And let's see. Yes, and you see, like we spoke about a few minutes ago, the professional services, when the expenses were moved to the capital new building, that's the $148,000 in June as a credit. Now the professional services for the year is right in line. That's basically the legal that's non-building related, Rob Schultz, and the audit basically. And then the grand total at the bottom, total expenses year to date, $1,244,533 compared to budget of $1,319,000, so 74,000 under. I would say after all the unentered expenses are processed, 74 would really probably be about 60,000 conservatively. So we're definitely under for the year, and the balance sheet reflects that. You can see we're ending the year at $298,164.71. Last year, I just checked, we ended last year at about 256,000, so it never will match up perfectly, but it's pretty close to that. We're under by a large amount, so the cash is higher by a large amount. So those are the two reports for the general fund. And now, as of what we started last month was the second report for the capital fund. I don't think that fund had that much activity. There was a couple bills we paid tonight, but they'll reflect on the July expenses for next month. But you can see the $950,000 that we started with, we had $701,000, almost $702 left. The key restricted, that's the key, the check that we just wrote here, had $4,200, which was the $700 something plus the 2 donations that we received in the last few months. And then you see on the bottom, we changed the bond anticipation note. Now it's under long-term liabilities, the $950,000. And then the expenses are on the P&L for the capital new building. There's only a few categories: architect, engineering, and legal, and then it's all there. A new building. That was basically, I think that was the stuff for the election that we were expensed by the school district. But if I had to, I could drill down and get the further detailed breakout there. But you could see now we have it completely separated from general fund and capital new building fund. And then I think we had the checklist like last month. I put the general fund on top, which is the bulk of the checks. Tried to make sure the descriptions were in place for the ones that needed it. And then the capital fund is on the bottom. And you see the first check on this list here was the check that we wrote ourselves, basically to deposit into the key to reimburse the operating account for the capital new building expenses. So if this format looks good, I guess this is the format we could stick with going forward.
Questions for Jack?
The tan, what are we doing, when are we expecting that?
We should be getting, yeah, good, I'm glad you were reading my mind, I was thinking about that earlier, but then I got tied up with everything else. We should be getting that in the next 2 to 3 weeks,
Okay.
usually by mid to late July.
Right, I couldn't remember.
200,000, right.
Okay,
So
Thank
with
you.
that, we should be, you know.
we'll be
good-
okay till October 1st.
Definitely good to go, yep,
Thank you.
sure.
So the $60,000 that we're under for
Yes,
last year, we, usually part of our budget is to, it includes, some fund balance that we.
yeah, we didn't have to
Carry.
use the fund balance, I think for the year we're in, we had like a 13 or 14,000 that we would have used if if everything had hit their numbers, so we ended up not even using the fund balance.
Okay, alright, so that was basically zero.
Right.
Versus, okay.
Right.
Which always subtracts, so we always run a little bit in the red and always run
Right.
in the next, so.
Right, exactly,
So we're moving the other way now
right.
towards increasing that.
And I think we were hoping last year that would be the case, because we did the budget assuming full, you know, assuming the retirement bill didn't go down, and assuming other assumptions just to be conservative. But we kinda had a feeling that we probably wouldn't use the unappropriated, reserve fund. All right, we didn't have to use that at all.
Jim?
On the sheet that has all of the last 2 months and so on,
Right,
at the very, very bottom, it says net ordinary income. And is it showing that as 77,000 higher?
it's showing, let's see,
Because it ends with a 77, 424, 428. So I'm trying to figure out that, usually that would indicate that it's above.
yeah, oh, it's saying that we were planning on being 12,621 negative, that would have been the reserve fund that we had going in. And since we were 64,000 under budget instead of 12 over, the 77 is the difference between those two numbers.
But you count the money we did not spend on expenses as income.
Right, that's why instead of being under 64, we were really under
Okay, just-
77, right.
Okay.
Right. And the line above that, there's nowhere to put a line for, you know, that 12,000 reserve fund as an expense. It's just, you'd have to set the budget up assuming you were gonna be
Okay.
12,000 short.
All
But
right.
since we weren't, it adds back, so we're really 77 under.
Thank you.
Any thought from the state about the retirement system, how much?
The first preliminary, they've been sending, they used to send one and then the actual number, now they send like an estimate and then a projection. I guess they wanna give people more time, because they know the bill went up dramatically. And I think we were projected to be like 10 or 11,000 below what it was this year. So it should be even lower, and I can't remember when we did the budget if I guess we just used that number again, but we might have used that number plus a little bit more, just to be conservative, I think. So I'm hoping and I'm assuming that the bill again for next year should be under what we projected, and maybe even under the actual number for the current year.
Do you know what we paid this year?
You're right, yeah, the one that we paid right on this report, the 75,000. But
So
we'll,
10 under that?
possibly, yeah, that's, because there was, Bernie and I looked, remember they were saying that the rates, they do a rate for the salary for the different people in the different tiers, and the different tiers are different rates. Most people are tier 4, and they were saying that the rate for tier 4 and all the tiers was gonna go down from like 18 to like 16 or 15 or something, so we thought it could add up to possibly around $10,000 less.
Yeah, they were trying to recover from the last adjustment that the market did to the whole fund, so they're coming closer to that now, so. So yeah, it might actually be giving accurate
Right.
estimates.
Right.
And then depending on what the other personnel changes we've gone through, are gonna do to it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right, because that line is dependent upon how many people we have that are salaried in the retirement system. Because not all the employees are, so it's not, we're not paying that rate on the full 700,000. We're only paying it on like about 400 and something thousand. So it's based on that.
And then
So-
our budget is based on what it was, what our staff was 3 months ago,
Right.
basically. So what our staff is a year from today could be
Could be different.
somewhat, yeah, could be different and impacted, you know, either way, either plus or minus, depending on who we hire.
But once we get an update from they usually send an email or notification. I'll let everybody know right away. So how it goes.
Any other questions for Jen? May I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Emily, second. Keith?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And director's report, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Eugene?
The big news is that Joanne Bass has retired as of June 30th after 38 years at the Goshen Public Library.
Wow.
If you'd like to come out.
Good news for her.
Yes. No, it's big news.
Oh, big news, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Good news. If you'd like to come to the dinner that we're having for it's August 5th, Friday, at the Lancey's. It'll be $30.50 a person. And you can contact Christine at GoshenPublicLibrary.org if you're interested, and she'll give you the minutiae. Paige, who's you all probably know, has worked with Joanne for a long time, and that room is taking over. And we're going to try she's moving into a full-time slot, which was what Joanne was, but we're going to try to have her do actually what Joanne did and what she did, which I think she's capable of. So far, so good. So we'll save some there. Katie Edson, sadly, is leaving at the end of July. She's a reference librarian, does a lot of the programming here. Probably most of you know her. And we are presently making arrangements to figure out how to fill that void. Brittany, one of our circulation clerks, got a full-time job as an art teacher in one of the local schools, so she'll be due in September. And we have somebody being trained now. That was a Page that's kind of moved up to the circulation position. They're ordering library materials again. Staff evaluations are almost finished. As far as new building concerns, we met, I barely remember this, June 27th, we met with Lisa, talked about their progress on the site. And I may have said this already, but we've hired the Orange County arborist to take a look at the trees. I checked with them. It's just the trees in the immediate vicinity where the work is going to be done. It's not the whole 5 acres that we're having to look at. And I also had a discussion with Jim, his last name escapes me, from Strata. That's the archaeological firm that we've hired. I gave him the dates of some of our events. I wasn't sure how much of an obstacle what they're going to do over there would be, but he said they shouldn't be in anyone's way. So they're going to start phase 2 soon of this site evaluation or survey.
Matt, did he say how long that was going to take?
Didn't give me a. I can double check. Yeah,
Just wondering.
Great American Weekend brought in a lot of money, $2,100. They did a great job. They initially were going to be book sailing on Sunday as well, but just Friday and Saturday. They also had another sale. I think they took in about $250 prior to that, somewhere around there. What else? Painting's almost finished, and we did finally get a bicycle rack for people to anchor their bike to in the back of the building. There's no good place for it here, unfortunately. It's sort of hidden away, but as people get to know where it is, they'll use it.
I found it.
You did? Okay.
My bike's up there.
Yeah, okay, good. Because I came in today and there was a guy like hooking his bike right up to the the railing of our. And I was like, oh, can't wait for trying. But anyway, lots of other things happened, but most of it's minutiae. Those are the major things. Paul Mays will be coming to our next meeting on the 8th of August, so to bring us up to speed. And
Is that a 6:30 start?
yes. Right? No. Are we doing a 6:30 start on that? I don't remember.
I don't remember what we planned.
I'll have to double check my
Yeah,
notes
double
and
check,
I'll-
cause
I'll-
it might be, what's that?
It was definitely early.
It was?
Yeah,
For
so
this.
it probably is a
Okay.
6:30
I think it
start,
was
cause we usually give him an hour before the meeting.
He's a talker.
He is a talker. He's delightful, but yes.
So let Elizabeth know whether she wants to be here
Yeah.
at the earlier time or come in after he.
Okay,
It's like an hour work session before the regular meeting,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
don't see Elizabeth
No,
being.
she'll-
Yeah,
No.
she's
She'll
just,
just be
She's
sitting here
just-
wasting
yeah,
her
yeah,
time.
she just sit on her hands. as well.
Right, exactly.
and a thank you letter from the staff for the donation toward Joanne's dinner.
Oh,
Remember
nice.
that from last time around? All right, so I'll make sure that Paul is on for 6:30, and Elizabeth will come to the regular.
So,
I think that's it.
And now the 6:30 start will reflect it on the website so that
Yes.
folks know.
All right. Yeah, Katie does our website too. What are we gonna do? For the time being, we're gonna hire her sort of as a
Yeah.
contractor till we find someone else just to do it,
Mhm.
you know, from outside the building. But,
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Good. Big
Anything?
Any questions from you? The building looks amazing.
Yes, it does.
Walking
It's
up,
amazing.
The paint job.
Yes.
Just the
Yeah,
building
very
The
nice.
columns,
beautiful.
everything looks nice.
Yeah, those columns are amazing.
The first thing I noticed, of course, was all the storm windows or whatever under the bush.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what that was for a minute, and then I put it together.
What happened
does
with
look
the,
very
you had
nice.
an issue with certain windows?
Yeah, I figured I'm gonna wait until they're finished and then call in, I'm not sure of his name, Mr. Ray Quattrini's son, and ask if they go. Jared, yes.
Because then they say if you got that mill working done, the woodwork done, that they would do the painting, but
Yeah, I guess, okay, I'll give him a call tomorrow. I was waiting until they kind of finished, but I'll give him a call and see if he can take a look at it. I noticed one other window today, up above the entranceway is also covered by, plastic or plexiglass or whatever it is. So I wonder, I didn't get a chance to ask them, I wonder if that's the same thing. The ones in the back, they didn't wanna remove because those storm windows are actually built underneath the wood, so you have to actually take it apart to take it off.
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's not you can't just pop it out like the ones on the
Like
front
a
of the
normal
building,
one.
so. But I'll give him a call, Jared.
Oh my goodness.
Any questions for Matt? His report? No? Okay. Committee reports, capital project committee.
I don't think anything's gone on since our meeting 2 weeks ago, and, yep. We're pretty much up to date on that, right?
In terms of, 'cause I just, walking around the village, and especially in the church on Saturday, someone asked about, what's the timeline of groundbreaking, you know, what's happening, when is it gonna start building? Should we think about maybe on the library website, putting
Putting
in,
perhaps a tentative
Yeah.
timeline, as long as we're not,
yeah,
if we put it
Updates.
up there, right,
Progress.
and
Yeah.
mention that we'll update it, and
Yeah.
because if we put it up there like without, you
no,
know,
we can say, you know, this is
Tentative, then-
a working timeline. This is
working
a working
timeline, tentative, something like that,
Yeah.
sure.
Because
Yeah.
they wanted to know what's happening, why isn't the building
Right,
going
right,
up?
we
And I
all,
said,
we
"There's
all
a
said yes,
lot."
and then where is it, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
You know, but the things like the
Archaeological.
archaeological, you know,
Sure.
that
Right,
took
yeah.
place, and then,
Well,
Just
because there is so
stay-
much stuff going on behind
Yeah.
the scenes, that probably is a good idea to keep people posted,
yeah,
that we're working with the architect right now, that just because if they see activity over there,
Sure.
then we can, they'll know, oh, that's the archaeologist, or
Mhm.
whatever, or the arborist looking at the trees, or, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
maybe the newsletter, because, you know, not a lot of people go to the website in
Yeah.
comparison
That's
with the
true, too.
newsletter. And you could just do a new building update
Yeah,
and start listing some of the things that have been accomplished.
Definitely.
right.
because I think some
Yeah.
people were expecting a building by December.
Oh, yeah,
No.
absolutely,
No.
yeah. So why aren't we in it
A
already?
lot
Yeah.
of things have to happen
Yeah.
before, so that's something for the, for our community to know.
Yep.
the process.
I was
Good
at a
idea.
meeting, Rotary meeting, and one of them said, we gave you $9.3 million, and all we got was a sign so far.
But it's a nice sign.
It's a lovely sign.
Well,
We got our gratitude too, you forgot about our gratitude.
But it turns out your taxes won't go up this year.
That's right,
Next year.
be grateful.
So, yeah,
That's really
it
good.
all comes together.
Physical resources.
Just besides the painting, right?
Paint job, it looks great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Looking
And the air conditioning is finished, the work they
Done,
did?
that's all finished, yeah, that's working great. I don't know, no floods, knock on wood, no.
Don't say it.
Yeah, I
Hardly
know.
any rain though.
Well, Danny and I rigged up a pretty nice French drain out there last year, whatever they call it. It seems to be holding up with stones in there and all kinds of graded sort of gullies, and it seems to work. Maybe it just hasn't rained that hard yet, you know? But I like to believe that we did it.
Yeah, you guys are geniuses.
The people are
It's
holding
a
up.
feat of
It's
engineering.
holding up. Yeah, no leaks. That's I don't know.
Community resources.
Nothing new. Sorry.
Sorry. Okay.
The news is good.
Well, soon enough you will put the fall newsletter together.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's gonna come up. Human resources. We have retirees and athletic. And sunshine committee.
Well, that's me now. I don't have anything to report for that either. I'm sorry.
Did
Are
we
we
all pay
fully
you?
funded?
Yes, I believe so. I owe Jim some money, but I will get it to him at the next meeting.
There's no rush.
Thank you. Yes.
You know where you'll be on August 8th.
Yes. Definitely.
actually, I'm sorry. I have some
Yes.
good news about the building. We had, for some reason, out of the blue, they haven't come in a couple of years. The insurance adjuster stopped by a couple of weeks ago and walked through the building. Actually, he went with Jack. Jack's good enough, good knows the building as well as I do. Walked around the building while I was doing some other things. Came back after an hour or whatever and said he had no changes, no
Wow.
everything looked good. So
Well,
that's the
so
first time that's happened. Almost every time
Yeah.
they come, it's the pecker bushes are too long, or you name it, But this time he said no, everything looks good. So I was happy. Anyway,
That
sorry.
is a surprise.
That's a good thing.
Yep.
And the friends.
The book sales you mentioned. We have the Junior Friends History Camp, local history camp, July 19th and 20th. And as a matter of fact, a group of the girls went out today to meet the farmer, Phil Johnson, who's going to bring a cow and a calf to the camp.
Oh,
And the campers that are brave enough can milk the cow. And then the other thing is, of course, the ice cream social and the big band concert on August 6th, I believe. So, I'm not sure if there's another book sale in July, at the end of July. I'll have to find out about that.
Jim, have you talked with what's the scoop, Elizabeth?
Not within the last couple of weeks, but I have spoken to her
So
previously.
she's okay. I can get in touch
Yeah,
with her again.
she's on board.
She is, and check from.
They agreed to
Okay,
make
that's
their
right.
normal
We got it, yeah,
$900 contribution.
Norton and Christensen. That's it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we're getting the normal donation, and everything seems to be
good.
good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any unfinished business? New business. Community Foundation, we will be hopefully signing a contract next meeting. Please all come. Any other new business? Don't tell me.
oh my goodness.
Oh my.
That's pretty good, a half-hour meeting. I love it.
And, agenda items for next month's meeting, Community Foundation, obviously,
Mhm.
and some discussion about fundraising.
We do need to come up with a
Friends
friends
included in the
bylaws,
right.
rules, or whatever we wanna call it, guidelines. We have no definition
Yeah.
for our relationship their.
I'll be able to have that by next month. I'll be able
Yeah,
to
I
find
mean,
some
I know
templates
there's
and-
templates
yeah.
out there, I know Nyla has things, the ALA has things, and that book Jerry Nichols wrote has a lot of information in it,
Yeah,
but we don't have anything official.
Yep.
So, I'm not sure what we have to do, if we have to do that as a group or if the
I could
bylaws
pull it
commission-
together and they'll send you out a copy, you know.
And then we could discuss it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty standard. I'll make sure it covers the bases, especially with what we're doing now. We want, you know.
Well,
there's
right, that's why,
certain specific
yeah, we
things
wanna
about
make
this,
sure
right.
everything's,
Yeah.
correctly delineated.
Okay.
There are no items for executive session?
No.
No. Okay. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please? Keith, may I have a second? Ellen Mary, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, I
a
know,
record.
really,
Thank you.
half an hour, yeah, 36 minutes. We could stay here and talk to you if you're feeling like,
I mean, I came all the way down here.
I know.
I will be receiving the
Yes.
I'm just getting out of the way.
Okay.
I was blocking traffic over
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
It's actually from the
Yes.
Netherlands.
Is it ready for vacation? I didn't know if you were coming tonight.
Yeah, well,
I
she's
have
a
a lot
teething
to
baby,
do.
so she's kinda not happy the meeting was only up.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, last night I was so fed up. I was like, I'm leaving for an hour. And I did something I've never done before. I went to Mason's for beer myself by myself. And it was so good.
It was quiet.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Was she getting on the molars? Or
Top.
or-
Yeah, but it's so swollen. She's up all night.